So this weekend in Orlando, we've got Austin Williams versus Carlos Adames for the WBC World Middleweight Championship, and both guys are, who in my opinion, are at the level. Carlos Adames is world level at middleweight, in my opinion. Amo Williams, of course, his only loss was a quite a bad loss to Hamza Shiraz, but since then he got back on the horse. He's picked up nothing but victories, and he's shown he's definitely got power. He's definitely got some offensive weapons there. And Austin Williams is a guy who, Amo Williams is a guy who, I think he's got a bit of a fan base behind him. He's got some momentum. He's got some media hype there. People are appreciating Amo for what he is. And, he is a powerful puncher who can cause anyone problems at 160, in my opinion. Hamza Shiraz is a special case because he was so big for 160. And he's got a very good resume, especially domestically. Hamza Shiraz picks up a lot of domestic wins, but they have got an opponent in common, and that is Hamza Shiraz. Of course, Hamza Shiraz's last fight at middleweight was against Carlos Adames, and it was a draw. Now, this was a fight, in my opinion, I thought Carlos Adames got absolutely robbed. I think he should have easily beaten Hamza Shiraz based off that performance. The scorecards robbed Carlos Adames of that victory and gave it a draw. And when that happened, I actually left a bit of a sour taste in my mouth when it came to Hamza Shiraz. I wasn't really keen to talk about Hamza Shiraz on the channel because I was thinking, I'm going to get on here and say, yeah, he's a good boxer, but, he robbed Carlos Adames. I didn't really want to talk about that sort of stuff, but he did. It was clearly, people are going to look past this as the further we get into Hamza Shiraz's career, but they shouldn't, because something dodgy went on there. Something dodgy went on there with Turki and the judges, because after, not after, but during the fight, Turki Al-Sheikh is going up to Hamza Shiraz and saying, you're down 2 rounds, you're down 2 rounds. Like, what? You're just helping him, telling him the scorecards. That's not allowed, bro. And who knows the conversations Turki could have had. Do you know what I mean? I'm not saying anything, but it's not a good look. It's not a good look at all. And it feels like people are just sort of skating past it and forgetting that it happened, or because it wasn't on a huge stage and neither of them are huge names right now, people aren't really talking about it. But that happened, and in my opinion, that was part of the reason why Adames got robbed there. But it was a draw, so he retained his WBC World Middleweight Championship, and now he's fighting Amo Williams. And even though Amo Williams is technically not as good as Hamza Shiraz, I think Hamza Shiraz has got much better boxing fundamentals and uses his height well, and uses a lanky jab and puts his punches together nicely. Amo Williams is more of a inside brawler puncher, and definitely has power. Definitely has power in his hands and has stopped a number of guys. You can look at his highlight reel. It's a serious highlight reel. Highlight reel of a lot of good knockouts. But Adames is no scrub at all. Adames hasn't lost at middleweight. His last loss was a interim world title fight at super welterweight. 154. He's not lost at 160. He took Hamza Shiraz's power quite well. Granted, Hamza Shiraz did injure his hand in that fight. I think that is common knowledge. He did injure his hand. So how much you take of that is up to you, right? But my instinct wants to go with Carlos Adames to win this. That's my instinct. But I do see paths to victory for Amo Williams. But I'd be super curious to know what you guys think in the comments below. Do you think Amo Williams could claim his first world championship, or do you think Carlos Adames will retain his WBC World Middleweight Championship on the weekend? Let me know in the comments below. Another episode of the Seth Solo Cyclist in the bag, and I'm out. Peace.